Video camera?
This is a video camera,
Yeah.
yes. I probably should have it on a tripod because I don't know if I can hold it completely
Yeah.
steady. But tell me about what you've done in
But
terms.
anyway, it's just, we've been to the, we've gone to Tucson, we've gone to L.A., we've gone to Utah, St. George, Utah, probably the prettiest place in this country, St. George, Utah. But that was a Utah Sheriff's Conference, annual Sheriff's Conference, and but it's very nice to get to go to visit with all the other different officers. Plus, my wife and I get to go spend 3 or 4 days somewhere that doesn't cost us any money. So.
And what are the points that you make? And
It's
tell me
just
the
strictly-
topic again, because
It's
you've already.
just strictly a high-profile media relations class, how to deal with the media, and it's actually kind of not the same as a lot of your media classes teach. You have to find who you can trust and kind of how we established a relationship with our local medias and the national medias. How we did that. It doesn't come easy. It's a process to do, and we go through that. And then of course we dissect the crime also and talk about that also. Most of it's all law enforcement agencies, and I can't believe that.
You didn't go to A&M, did you?
No, that's the Longhorn.
I'm kidding.
You
That's
can
what I
actually-
mean.
You can actually tell by my time. I did not go to UT. I
This
went to
man is from
Southwest
the
Te-
University of
Yeah.
Texas. Did you go to University of Texas?
No, I went to Southwest Texas.
Okay,
in
good
Sam
school.
Houston. So,
I went to both of those. My daughter went to Southwest Texas.
really?
I went to Sam Houston.
Yeah, well, I went to Sam Houston, and I did all this at night classes. Except Southwest Texas, I was a young trooper in Austin, Texas, and I'd get off graveyards and I went 2 summer semesters, which is a pain in the rear going to college during the summer, but that's what I had to do. And but it's just that darn phone is gonna keep doing that. But anyway, the traveling part. My wife and I've been all over as a result of this, from Wisconsin to New York to New Jersey to Ohio to Florida to California to Seattle to Vancouver, British Columbia. Just really neat getting to go tell our story, and it didn't cost nothing. It's traveling on somebody else's nickel.
And how did you develop the trust with media during the aftermath of the Bird murder?
It was actually easy. Actually, Willis Webb and Julie and Mike Lout were people that knew us prior to it, and they actually built the bridges from us to the other local medias in Beaumont, the TV, and then, of course, once that happened, then they bridged the gap between the national media for us. And I'll say that Guy James and I actually helped do that also by the people knew they could trust us after they'd been around us a while. We wasn't trying to blow smoke up anybody, or we were just being honest, and apparently it came through. So that was kind of neat.
Did you tell your local media more than you would tell?
Oh yeah, there was no secrets. Our local people here knew stuff that you just don't tell media, but it worked for us. And I'm not saying it worked for everybody, but because obviously there's just like police officers. Some police officers you can't trust, and some media you can't trust. It's just reality. So, but we were fortunate to have a good, solid core of media people here, and it worked.
Who was in that solid core?
Julie and Willis Webb with the Jasper Newsboy were 2 of them. Solid as a rock, good, solid people. I'd trust them with my life. Just about did. Mike Lout at KJ, at the radio station here in Jasper, same thing. Angel San Juan with Channel 6 CBS News in Beaumont, same way. It's just one of those deals that we were fortunate. They were where they were at the time, and we were where we were at the same time, and we bonded with them, and still friends with all of them.
And who was at the Chronicle then?
You know, I can't. Let's see. The Chronicle changed it. Oh, Houston Chronicle. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
That was Stewart. What was his first name? Anyway, the Stewart was one of them guys that trusted us, and we trusted him.
Mhm.
Can't remember his first name now. I told you a while ago, but I can't remember it.
And what was the difference can you tell me about when you discovered the body and then what happened in terms of media coverage? Just give me that 24-hour period.
Well, we got the body about 7 o'clock in the morning or so, and we didn't even look up. No media involved in none of that until we wound up having them arrested. We arrested them, put them in jail, stayed up all night interviewing, finally got a statement from Sean Berry about 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, hadn't been to bed. And when he said he went to ELF, they went to ELF with an N, it became to me that this was going to be a civil rights violation. Never heard the name hate crime, didn't know what a hate crime was. But I know that if you kill somebody because they're black, that was going to be a federal offense. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, when the FBI got to their office in Beaumont, I had been there 30 minutes at their door waiting on them. And I went in with a copy of the statement from Sean Allen Berry. That statement basically said why they had done what they did. The FBI got involved in it at that time, and that was Monday. Tuesday morning, when I come to my office, I finally got to go home and go get a little bit of rest. And we worked on it again that evening. The next morning, when I got to the office in Jasper, we had a press conference, discussed the whole case. And then Wednesday morning...
How many people were at that press conference?
It was 6, 4, and 12 out of Beaumont. I think maybe the TV station out of Lufkin was there. The Newsboy, the radio station here, and the Newsboy and Beaumont Enterprise. And then that was Tuesday morning, and Wednesday morning all the satellite trucks moved in. There was probably, I'm going to say Wednesday morning, I'm going to say there was probably 10 satellite trucks out at our office. And by Thursday morning, there was even more than that. It had went national then and got crazy. And the Black Panther Party came to Jasper. We had to deal with them. When the Black Panther Party came to Jasper, then the Ku Klux Klan Party wanted to come to Jasper. And on 2 different occasions, we had the Black Panthers and the Ku Klux Klan here at the same time.
Woo.
And that's part of that stress we was talking about a while ago. And
Willis Webb said that you met the Black Panthers outside of town.
we met I don't remember the Black Panthers out there, but we did meet the Ku Klux Klan out there. And the Black Panther Party came to our office. They actually came down there we had a meeting with them, with Khalid Muhammad. We had to do some negotiating on the day of the funeral for carrying their weapons and marching through the streets and all this. So it's a long, drawn-out process. It was one of those stressful deals dealing with them. And dealing with the Ku Klux Klan. They both groups of them had lawyers with them, so you actually was going through dealing with attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Willis's story involved you removing bullets from guns.
That was during the parade. That was during the funeral. They were going to be patrolling the streets back streets of Jasper during the deal, and we negotiated over that. We weren't going to let them come down here, but we told them we'd let them carry the guns down on the back street.
Mm-hmm.
It was a long negotiating. I didn't want to do it, but DPS, their legal people, was involved in it, and they recommended that we were taking advice from them. But it was a pain. That was a tough decision. That sometimes you have to give, and to take a little bit, you got to give, and that's one of them negotiation things that we negotiated for a long, hard time to work that out on the guns and where they could carry them and where they loaded and where they not loaded and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And how do you think you figured all these things out? Because you really had to act quickly in situations you'd never been in before. Can you tell me again about...
I'm going to tell you what, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The good Lord took me by the hand and walked me through this step by step. Some of the tough decisions were actually easy decisions because I knew who was walking right there with me. The good Lord took us through this, and I'm telling you, it took us, the whole community, through it. He was my main chief strength and support.
Mm-hmm.
Then, and he still is now.
What about the prayer vigil? Did you attend the prayer vigil on the courthouse square? Can you tell me about that evening?
Very emotional. There was lots of crying, lots of hugging. My kids all came up with my wife and I that night. Still real easy to get very emotional. That was one of the most emotional nights I've ever gone through in my life. It wouldn't take much for me to start crying again right now. We needed that. Our community needed that. So, yeah, it was a very touching night.
What are the moments that you remember most about that evening?
So many black and white people hugging and crying. I can't tell you everything that took place that night. That was one of those nights, it was kind of a blur. You was on the high and you couldn't remember everything going on. But I just do remember that I was in a public place crying my eyes out, hugging my family and hugging everybody that would hug.
How long after the murder was that vigil?
Wasn't long, and I can't tell you it was, I'm just going to say it wasn't long. I don't remember.
Who organized it?
I'm sure the Ministerial Alliance did. They were such big players in this whole thing with the dragon death of James Byrd. Our entire Jasper Ministerial Alliance was such big players. And anything good that came out of it, it was because of them. So I must say they were the ones, but I don't remember.
I understand that at one point Jesse Jackson came to Jasper. What happened on that?
Well, he came over to Walter Diggle's house, and Walter Diggles, I can remember telling Jesse Jackson that if he's here to support the family and mourn for the family, we're glad you're here. But if you're here to stir anything up, or get stupid, or get belittling our community, you get back in your car and you go back to wherever you come from. You get out of Jasper because we don't want you here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And him and Al Sharpton, I never will forget, him and Al Sharpton come to my office and wanted to meet me. And that was kind of a neat deal, just to sit and visit. We wanted to take a picture with me. I thought that was kind of neat.
Mm-hmm. Do you still have a copy of the photograph?
I don't know.
Maybe your wife does.
I don't know that I ever had the picture. His people were taking the pictures, and I don't know that they ever, I don't know that I ever got a picture of that. But I just thought it was kind of silly that Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson wanted to take a picture with me.
Mm-hmm.
Pot-bellied, beer-drinking, snuff-dipping sheriff from East Texas.
Can you tell me again about the the caricature that you said media had and how that might have been justified in Jasper?
Oh yeah, they pictured me and Jasper, and I do it to me, but on me they had us stereotyped. Not just our community. We were so close enough to Vider, they thinking that we're all just like Vider, and they had me stereotyped as one of the big pot-bellied, beer-drinking, snuff-dipping, redneck, East Texas, bigoted sheriff. And the one thing that I say is I proved to them that they was all right except one thing. I wasn't a bigoted sheriff. And they was hoping to find that when a Billy Bob redneck type sheriff. And I think we proved them wrong on it.
Mm-hmm. And a DA named Guy James and
Our district judge named Joe Bob. And yeah, that's just too neat. That's too neat.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell me about some of the friends you have who are black and had at the time? And
you know, Arthur Neal Davis was one of my golfing buddies, and we played a lot of golf together, drank a lot of coffee together, went to different outings and stuff together. I had a captain who was a friend of mine that I still consider him a friend, a black captain named James Carter. I promoted him to captain once I got into office because he was very worthy of that title and position, and competent, and did what he very good guy. Don Clark was over the FBI, the Houston district of the FBI. Played a lot of golf and visited, and his wife and my wife and Guy James, we all did a lot of stuff together. I have a great relationship with a lot of black people around here. Got some bad relations with some too, but it don't have nothing to do with being black or white. But,
and what would you say have been the long-term effects both on you and on Jasper, and perhaps even on Jasper County?
well, like I was telling you earlier, I've had some health problems. I've had to start taking, during that time, I had to start taking blood pressure and cholesterol and thyroid medicine and all the different, from the stress. Stress will kill you, it'll work on you, and it affects your health, and it did me. But we got through it.
Do you think there were people whose health was affected also, or who actually died as a result of the stress?
Yeah, I'm sure there are, because there's no way to measure what actually, if stress did it or just a bad heart or whatever. But I'm sure, it was a trying time for a lot of people. Not just me. There's a lot of people affected with it. So, well, listen, I'm getting phone calls. I gotta